guys, welcome to my first yoga video. My name is Erica Carnevale. I have been teaching yoga for 2 years now, and I created this video. I've been meaning to do so for a while now, but because I have back pain that runs in my family, and I have noticed that since I've been practicing yoga, not only has my back pain disappeared, but I stand up taller, my posture is a little bit better. And so I'm making this video in hopes that the people who live far away that I love, that don't get to take my classes anymore since I moved to Sacramento, you guys can have a chance to do some yoga at home with me. And yeah, so I hope that you guys will commit to trying out this practice and maybe making it a part of your weekly routine. For this practice, you will need some yoga blocks. Not required, but these are a great investment to make for any yoga practice, really, especially spinal strengthening and posture improving. I really love to use these blocks. If you have a yoga strap, you can use this yoga strap. If not, I like to just use a belt when I'm at home because I do not even have a yoga strap. And then also, if you don't have blocks, a great substitution is a blanket rolled up. You can use a blanket or a pillow, and I'll be showing you how we use these in our practice as well. All right, so we're gonna get started in a tabletop position. I have my coffee here because coffee is life. We'll start in a tabletop position, our knees out wide, big toes to touch behind us. Bring your knees are about mat width distance apart. Let's take one deep breath in. And on the exhale, just press back to child's pose. Pressing through both hands, forehead comes to rest on the mat. Just let the hips sink into the heels here. While you're right here, we'll begin to tune in with our breath. Noticing our inhales and our exhales, and trying to make them of equal length. Taking deep breaths in through the nose. Open up the mouth, exhale, let it go. Now inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Now we'll inhale through the nose. This time sealing the lips at the top. Exhaling through the nose as well. This is our Ujjayi breath, our breath of power. We will maintain this breath while we practice to build a meditative state in our mind, as well as to build heat and strength throughout the body. On your next inhale, go ahead and find a tabletop position. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips. We'll inhale for cow pose, drop the belly, gaze up. Let's pause right here. Now exhale for cat. Let's push the floor away, rounding the back a lot, bringing the eyes to the kneecaps. Really pressing through both hands. Try and round the back as much as possible here. Now inhale for cow pose, pull the shoulders away from the ears, gaze to the ceiling. Exhale for cat. Let's move right here for 4 rounds of breath. On the inhale, we find our cow pose. On the exhale, we find our cat. 3 more just like this. You can take any additional movement that may be calling to you here. Maybe a side-to-side motion. Sway the hips. Whatever feels good for you. We're syncing our breath with our movement here. You can close down the eyes so that you can feel even deeper into your spine and what it is craving in this moment. Now go ahead and find stillness. We're going to neutralize our spine. One long line from the crown of the head through the tailbone. We'll ground down into our left knee. Our right foot is going to reach out behind us. Actively pressing the sole of the foot back. We're going to reach our left arm forward. I like to find a steady gazing point at the top of my mat. This is going to be the point that helps me with my balance. I like to use my water bottle. It helps you focus. On the inhale, we'll reach out long. On the exhale, we're going to draw our right knee into our left elbow. This is building a strong spine right here, waking up the spine. A little bit of a counterbalance. On the exhale, we bring it in. We have 4 rounds of breath just like this. And just 2 more right here. Now inhale, reach. On the exhale, we'll press it down. Now go ahead and bring the left leg out behind you. Right arm reaches out in front. A moment here to stabilize our spine. Now on the inhale, let's reach. On the exhale, we'll drop in. So on the inhale, we reach. On the exhale, we pull it in. We have 4 more rounds of breath right here. Last 2. Last 1. Now inhale, reach. On the exhale, let's release it down. Now we're going to go ahead and bring our left hand down. We're going to reach our right arm up. Gaze towards the right thumb. We'll pause right here for 5 deep breaths. Hugging the navel in, feeling the gentle twist of the back. Inhale. On the exhale, let's place that arm down. Now inhale, lift the left arm high. Gaze towards that left thumb this time. Two more breaths right here. On the exhale, place it down. Now let's go ahead and tuck both toes. We're gonna lift the hips up and back. Finding a downward facing dog, we can begin to pedal the heels into the mat right here. Taking a big bend into the right knee. A big bend in the left. Our gaze is here at our ankles. Now let's go ahead and find stillness. Let's take a big bend into both knees. On the exhale, let's straighten them out. 2 more deep breaths like this. On the inhale, we take a deep bend. On the exhale, we straighten. Inhale, big bend. Exhale, straighten it out. Good, go ahead and bring those knees down. Let's come to a seated position. We're gonna bring our right leg to cross over our left leg. Try to get our legs on top of one another here. We'll bring our hands to our kneecaps, and we're gonna circle out our torso as if we were drawing a circle with the crown of our head. We're gonna just circle around. Once you do 5 rounds on this side, we'll circle it out in the other direction. Go ahead and go 5 the other way. You can close down your eyes to feel out the range of motion that really works in your body. What is your body craving right here? Go ahead and find stillness. Now we'll sit up nice and tall. And on the exhale, let's release the palms to the floor in front of us. Just release the head, neck, and shoulders down. Depending on your flexibility here, you can walk the hands forward even more. Maybe you release the forearms all the way down to the ground. We'll take 5 deep breaths right here. Go ahead and walk the hands all the way in. We'll uncross the right leg. Left leg crosses on top of the right this time. Let's circle out the hips again. You can close down your eyes. Feel out that range of motion that works for you. Go ahead and circle it out the other way. Go ahead and find stillness. Let's sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down and back. And then we're going to walk those hands forward, releasing the torso down towards the floor. Feeling the stretch in the low back and the hips right here. We have 5 deep breaths. Go ahead and walk those hands all the way in. We'll uncross the legs, come all the way back to that tabletop position. And then we will lift our right arm high once more. This time we're going to thread the needle. Our right arm comes underneath the left. We're going to bring the right temple to rest on the floor. The left arm can reach overhead, or you can bring it to hook behind the back. We'll pause right here for 5 deep breaths. Go ahead and release that left hand. Bring it back to the floor. Let's press ourselves up. Now we'll inhale, lift the left arm high. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm comes through. Left temple comes to the floor, right arm reaches overhead. Maybe behind the back. We'll be here for 5 deep breaths. Go ahead and release that right hand. Bring it back to the floor in front. And we'll step back to our downward facing dog. Let's pause right here in our downward facing dog for a total of 10 breaths. Keep your eyes at your ankles. I like to count my breath just so I have something to focus on. Make sure you're pressing into both hands equally. Our fingers are spread out nice and wide right here. We have 5 more deep breaths. Really feel the strengthening of the shoulders, the lengthening of the spine. Just 3 more right here. Now inhale, look forward. On the exhale, let's step to the top of our mat. Now we'll inhale, circle the arms up, reach through the fingertips. Both palms come together overhead. We'll close down our eyes, bring the hands through heart center. Setting our intention for our practice right here. This is a moment I like to include in every practice, just to remember what brought me to my mat on whatever given day it is. For the sole purpose of this practice today, to build a strong and healthy spine, to walk a little bit taller, a little more confidently, with a stronger back to support my everyday life. Now inhale, circle the arms, reach through the fingertips, palms together overhead. Now exhale, half moon to the right. We're gonna reach up and over to the right side. You can keep your gaze in front of you, or you can bring your arms overhead, or eyes overhead rather. Let's pause here for 3 deep breaths. Now inhale, come through center. We'll exhale over to the left side. Once again, bringing those eyes either overhead or right in front of you. Make sure that the weight is equal in both sides here. Just feel the lengthening of that right side body. Now inhale, come through center. On the exhale, we're gonna cactus our arms back. We're really drawing our shoulders down and back. Actively pulling the shoulder blades together. Our arms are cactused out. We're gonna bring the hands behind the back. Try to grab a hold of the hands. On the inhale, we'll lift our chest gaze up to the ceiling. Now exhale, forward fold. We'll keep our hands together. You can have a soft bend in the knees right here. We'll just release the head, neck, and shoulders. Nod the head, yes. Shake it out, no. Now go ahead and release your hands. We're gonna bring our hands to our shins and we're gonna lift up halfway. Our spine is in one long line from the crown of our head all the way to the base of our back. Let's pause right here for 3 deep breaths, actively hugging our belly button in. Take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, let's place our hands down and step the feet back. Now let's hold right here in our high plank for 10 deep breaths. Actively counting your inhales and your exhales to help you focus. With every exhale, releasing a little bit of heat from the body so that you can stay in this pose. It's not easy. We have 5 more deep breaths right here. Last 2. Now press back to downward facing dog. Take 1 deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale it out. Now let's go ahead and bring the knees down to the floor. This time we'll bring our forearms down as well. Now this is really going to help us build the strength of our shoulders, which are very important in our posture. We'll take a forearm plank first. Our eyes are down at the floor. Our hips are lifted up. You can see that my body is in one long line. My hips are up here. They're down here. One long line from the crown of the head through the heels. We'll be right here for 5 deep breaths. Use your breath to help you focus. Every exhale, releasing some heat, releasing some of the negative energy that is no longer serving your body. Take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the hips down all the way. Let's find seal pose. Stretch out the belly, gaze up toward the ceiling. We'll pause right here for 5 deep breaths. You can close down the eyes and really focus in on the abdominal muscles here. If it feels good, maybe you begin to press into the hands. If you do so, make sure you squeeze the glutes to protect the back. Now go ahead and lower down all the way. We're gonna bring our hands underneath our shoulders now. Zipping the legs together like a cobra tail. Actively pressing into the floor through our feet. On our inhale, we're gonna lift our back up. Try and float the hands from the floor, keeping your eyes down. On the exhale, we'll lower down. So all we're doing here is on our inhale, we're lifting up. On our exhale, we're lowering down. We have 5 more rounds of breath just like this. On the inhale, we'll lift. the exhale, we'll lower. Last 4, 3. This is really working that back. Last 2. And last 1. Now go ahead and lower everything down. Our right cheek comes to the mat. Release the arms beside you. Let's just take 5 deep breaths right here. If you ever just don't feel like doing yoga, it's always a good idea just to lay down on the floor. Now this time we're going to bring our arms out wide. Our feet are going to come mat width distance apart. Go ahead and bring the head through center. On the inhale, we're going to lift everything up from our mat, our head, neck, and shoulders, keeping our eyes down at the floor still. We have just 5 deep breaths right here. It can be easy to hold your breath right here, so make sure that you're still breathing. Now on our inhale, let's reach our arms forward. On our exhale, we're going to reach our hands back, drawing the shoulders together. This is where we're working on our posture right here. On our inhale, let's grow tall. On the exhale, pull the shoulders back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach back. Just 2 more like this. Inhale, reach forward, grow long. On the exhale, reach back. Now inhale, reach forward and pause. We're gonna swim right here for 10. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release everything down. Left cheek comes to the mat, gaze over to the right side. Let's take 3 deep breaths right here. Now let's go ahead and take a bend into the right knee. We're going to pick up the right foot and place it over to the left side of our mat. Let's pause right here for 5 deep breaths, finding a gentle twist here. You can take the right arm and reach it overhead. Maybe you reach it behind the back. Maybe you circle it out to see where it wants to be today. Just 3 more deep breaths here. Now go ahead and release through center. We'll bring our gaze over to the left side this time. Big bend in the left knee. Let's pick up the foot and bring it over to the right. The left arm is reaching out beside us, maybe overhead, maybe behind the back. See where that arm wants to be. Maybe you circle it out. We'll pause here for 10 deep breaths. Just 5 more right here. This is another good one you can do while you're watching TV. Go ahead and come through center. We're going to bring both hands to the floor underneath the shoulders. Let's press ourselves all the way up to stand on our knees. You can roll up your mat, or you can bring a blanket underneath the mat for some support in the kneecaps here. We'll bring our hands to our hips behind us, actively pulling the shoulders down and back, drawing the elbows together behind us. Hands come to the hips. On the inhale, let's lift the chest and gaze up to the ceiling, actively pressing our hips forward here to protect our back. Now we'll exhale for camel pose. We're going to actively push the hips forward as we bring our gaze up. Maybe we trace our eyes over the ceiling until we see the wall behind us. If your eyes make it back that far, you can try and grab a hold of the ankles behind you. Wherever you're at, just make sure you're actively pushing the hips forward. We'll be right here for 5 deep breaths. Now go ahead and come up the same way you came out, leading with the heart. And let's sit the hips back onto the heels. Rest the hands on the thighs right here. Let's just take 3 deep breaths, sitting up nice and. Now let's go ahead and come to a seated position. We're going to bring the feet to our mat as we slowly lower the entire back down onto the floor. Let's make sure that we can graze the feet with our fingertips, soles of the feet on the floor. If you have a yoga block, you can bring the block in between the legs and actively squeeze this block. If you don't have a yoga block, don't worry about it. You don't need one. The important part is that we keep our thighs parallel to one another. Don't allow them to fall apart and drop that block. Okay? So on the inhale, let's find bridge pose. We're going to lift our hips up to the ceiling. You can bring the hands together underneath the back. This right here is definitely one of, I like to say it is the most important yoga pose to practice daily, as it builds a strong and healthy back, glutes, legs. Remembering right here to breathe with intention. Coming back to that intention of building a strong and healthy spine. We have just 5 more deep breaths right here. Go ahead and release those hands. Let's slowly lower down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Releasing the back all the way down to the floor. Let's remove that block. Reach the arms out beside you. Take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, let both knees fall over to the left side. Gazing over to the right. Pausing here for 5 deep breaths. Go ahead and bring both knees through the middle. Let's both let both legs fall over to the right. Gazing over to the left. Gentle twist here. Being sure to keep both shoulders on the floor. 5 deep breaths. Now go ahead and draw both legs through the middle. Since bridge is the most important pose, we are going to practice it twice. Make sure that you can graze the ankles once again with those fingertips. This time I'll show you that you can just do this pose with no block. On the inhale, let's lift the hips up. You can grab a hold of the hands underneath the body if you would like to open up the shoulders even more. Make sure that those shoulders are pulling away from the ears. We have 10 deep breaths right here. Actively pull those hips up as high as you can. Last 5. Go ahead and release the hands. Let's lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way down. Let's draw the knees into the body. Give yourself a big hug. Wrap the arms around the knees. Try to grab for opposite elbows. Keeping the head, neck, and shoulders firmly rooted down to your mat. Let's pause here for 5 deep breaths. Go ahead and release the legs all the way down. We're going to go ahead and grab a hold of our belt. Bring the belt underneath the right foot. Press the foot up towards the ceiling. We'll release the left leg all the way down. We'll pause right here for 10 deep breaths. Actively pull. We have just 5 more rounds of breath right here. Now go ahead and bring that belt so that it's in the right hand only. Left arm reaches out beside us. We'll take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, allow the right leg to fall open to the right side, giving into gravity here. Our gaze goes over the left hand beside us. We'll pause here for 10 deep breaths. Make sure that you're breathing it with intention as we open up the hips in the back. Last 5 breaths. Go ahead and bring that right leg through center. We'll bring the belt into the left hand this time. Right arm opens up beside us. Let's take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, let that right leg fall over to the left side. Gazing over the right hand. Pause and breathe. Just 5 more deep breaths right here. Go ahead and bring that leg through center. Let's pull the right knee in and give it a big squeeze. We'll squeeze it into the right armpit. You can press that belt to the side. While you're right here, you can circle out the ankle. Now let's go ahead and release that right leg all the way down to the floor. Left leg reaches up to the ceiling. Let's bring the belt underneath the left foot. Actively pulling the left leg into the body. We'll pause here. Just 5 more deep breaths. Go ahead and bring that belt into the left hand. Right arm opens up. Release that left leg open to the left side. Gazing over the right fingertips. Just 5 more rounds of breath right here. Go ahead and draw that left leg through center. Bring the strap into the right hand. Left hand opens up. Let's take 1 deep breath in. On the exhale, release that left leg over to the right side. Gazing over the left hand. Go ahead and draw that left leg through center.
Let's pull the left knee into the body, give it a big hug, remove that belt. Let's take 5 rounds of breath right here. Go ahead and release that left leg down. Both of the soles of both feet come to the floor. We're going to bring our hands to the floor as well. We're going to take another round of bridge, but this time it's going to be a supported bridge. So you have options here. You can use your block, or you can use a blanket. Maybe a blanket and a pillow stacked on top of one another would probably be best, just to get that high enough support. I'll demonstrate with the blanket and the pillow. So we're going to press into the balls of the feet, not the balls of the feet, the whole foot. Just lift the hips up, and then we're going to slide that blanket and pillow right underneath the hips, and just release the hips down. Open up the hands to the ceiling. You can keep the soles of the feet on the floor right here, or bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out wide. We'll take 10 deep breaths right here. Just close down the eyes and focus on your breathing. I like to visualize a bright white light when I'm in these restorative poses. Go ahead and draw the knees together. And this time, let's just release the legs out in front of us. Hips still lifted up on the blanket and pillow. Just release them down. You can allow the toes to splay apart. Maybe you take the hands overhead. Nice good morning stretch right here. Let's pause for 10 deep breaths. Go ahead and bring your soles of the feet back down to the floor. We're going to lift the hips up, bring the arms back beside you. Exiting in the same way we came into it. We'll lift the hips up, remove the blanket and pillow or block, depending on what you used, and release the hips all the way down. We'll go ahead and come all the way up. Next up, we have another restorative pose. I'll demonstrate with the blanket and the pillow first. So you can take it out long ways if you would like. We'll bring, if you have a yoga bolster, you can use a yoga bolster for this too. We'll just relax the head, neck, and shoulders down on that pillow. The butt is still just down on the floor, finding a gentle arch here. A gentle heart opening. This is actively pulling the shoulders down and back, correcting your posture for you. We spend so much time hunched over desk, over our steering wheel, over our phone. And then we wonder why anxiety and chest tension and stress is so prominent in society today. This is a great pop pose for stress and anxiety, overall discontentment with life. This is a good one to just open up the heart, to close your eyes and just find that meditative state. Once again, I like to envision just a white, bright, beaming light as I focus in on my breathing. Now, if you don't have yoga blocks, you can stay right here exactly where you're at. I just want to demonstrate this pose with the yoga blocks. So we'll bring the hands above the head, slowly roll all the way up the same way we came in. I'm going to remove the pillow and blanket, and I'll show you this pose with the blocks. We'll make sure that the block is one hand away from the butt. You can bring it to the lowest setting, or if you like a deeper back bend, you can bring it higher up. Just be mindful of the back. We'll lower down so that the block falls at the mid-back area. And then we'll take the other block and we'll place it underneath the head. You can figure out what setting feels good to you. Maybe you like it at the mid setting, maybe the high setting. I like it about mid. We'll release the arms beside us and we'll just continue to breathe right here for 10 deep breaths. This is a great pose you can even do while you're watching TV. Just lay down on the floor. Allow your body to sink. Just a few more breaths right here. I like to stay here for 2 to 3 minutes normally. Now we'll go ahead and bring the hands to the head above us. And we'll slowly press ourselves up. All the way up. Let's go ahead and remove those blocks. We're going to prepare for Shavasana. For those of you unfamiliar with Shavasana, it's just our final resting pose. If you really enjoyed how one of those poses felt, you can take that pose during Shavasana. Normally we just lay down on the floor to kind of soak in everything that we just did. Today I was really enjoying the blanket and the pillow, so I'm going to use the blanket and the pillow in the long waist. So let's go ahead and hug the knees in, wrap the arms around the knees. Let's roll into a little ball. Just bring the forehead to the knees right here. Giving yourself a big hug. Saying a big thank you to yourself for committing this last little bit amount of time to building a stronger and a healthy spine. Go ahead and take one deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, Shavasana. Let's release everything down to our mat. Final resting pose. Close down the eyes. We'll be here for 2 to 3 minutes. If you did choose to partake in the blanket and pillow or maybe some blocks, I will let you know when it's time to remove those and just come down onto the mat just to reset everything. If you did choose to use the blanket and pillow in Shavasana, go ahead and roll yourself up to a seated position. Let's remove it to the side. You can keep it on the floor if you would like. We just want to get the entire back laying down on the floor. Let's take 5 deep breaths here to seal our practice. ready, let's roll into fetal position, rolling onto our favorite side, cradling the head in our arm right here. Be thankful for where you are in this moment, this evening, or this morning, whatever you're practicing. And keep working hard towards where you see yourself tomorrow. Whatever goals it is that you want to obtain, knowing that hard work will be the only thing that gets you there. Let's go ahead and press ourselves all the way up to a seat. We'll come to a cross-legged position, hands come to the heart. The light and the love and the dedication in me sees the light and the love and the dedication in you. Thank you for sharing this virtual practice with me. I invite you to bow with me. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like or a comment. If you have any questions for me regarding the yoga or videos that you would like me to make, I would love to see them. I'm hoping to build more of an online yoga community. I already have quite a few classes and teach hundreds of people every day in Sacramento. And I would love to further this practice to my family and friends that are not in California and be of service to you guys. So let me know what you guys would like to see. Once again, namaste.